All right. All right, so let's dive right into it. No doom and gloom. Keep it going in the positive direction. For Kutu this week, I think it was he'll massage this into how he wants to do the conversation or the topic, but it was from what I heard, it was how to keep energy high, right? How to stay positive during the current industry. Kutu, you want to kick it off? What's your topic this week?
Yeah, I think that the one big thing that everybody in the company, like Fairway as a whole right now, is talking about is your mindset, right? And I think that correct me if I'm wrong, but my personal experience is that it's really hard to keep a positive mindset or an energized mindset in this market, right? We all, like Michael said, no doom and gloom. We don't have to talk about what's going on in the industry, but it's exhausting, right? It's very exhausting. And I feel like when I get the most exhausted, the way that I keep my mindset up is by like these small wins, right? And if I can just schedule one realtor appointment, right, that boosts my ego and that boosts my confidence, and I feel better about myself. Or if I can just pre-approve one buyer, if I could just have all these little small wins and talk to just one person at a time, it really just lifts me up. And when I'm down in the dumps, I just tend not to make those calls. So like looking back at like my personal journey over the last year, because I've had some ups and downs this year, you know what I mean? Like, volume's still pretty good. It could be better. I know it could be better because I could be doing more work. Every single time I feel good about myself, I'm doing the work, like the little things. I'm scheduling one appointment per day. I'm having good conversations. I got in here this morning. I've already talked to 5 realtors this morning. It's 10 a.m.
There you go.
Like I'm making
it's
the
10 a.m. and it's 10 a.m.
So like, and they're not brand new realtors, but they're realtors, people that made offers this weekend. What else can I help you with? Other realtors that I needed to touch base with. So, I just feel like in this time, the way that you can get yourself out of feeling really bad about yourself is just try to figure out what makes you feel good with those small wins and keep compounding them. What about you guys? How about you, Wayne?
You nailed it. I was like, Wayne, you're up next, buddy. Let's hear it. I want to hear it. I think we know what Angelo's up to.
I think that's perfect advice, Brian. Small wins is definitely, and you're focusing on what's positive. So, because well, they say there's 1,000 things going on, but you're really only aware of very few. So if you're only aware of very few, but you focus the very few on positive things, then you're not going to pay attention to those things. So of course, that's win-win-win. I've been doing the same because I'm actually a complete start over. I've been in this business for 30 years. I've been a branch manager for 15. The last few years, I haven't really had to produce. My son came into business with the same exact name. That's been a nightmare because the same name. So, for some reason, I thought I was not supposed to produce, but here I am. So I'm hearing all those voices too. But also it's a gift because this is a learning thing. It's going to make you a higher man, what you're doing for yourself. And the ones that win are going to win more in volume. You're going to win, being a better person as well. So I'm doing the same thing as you. I'm working harder than I ever have. And I'm focusing on the little wins and, just doing the job like you're supposed to do. So great advice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great stuff. I love it. We're doing the small wins. Let's get one realtor focusing on positive. Brad, you just jumped in. We got Brad here, Brad Greenleaf. Let's go. Brad, can you hear us?
I can.
Awesome. So we're having a quick conversation, getting a little charged up this week. We're talking about how to keep your energy high in the current industry. How do you, no doom and gloom, right? You're a positive guy. What kind of things do you do? What's part of your routine to kind of keep the energy high, keep it positive, keep it going? Give us some knowledge here. What do you got going on, Brad?
Well, you can't be negative at all because there's a lot of downers out there. You always have to have a positive. Big Joel talked about that, and nobody wants to listen to a whiner complain about shit. So, I think we have a lot of great resources. The whole thing about Dave Stevens and Barry Habib has been something I've been leaning on. The fact that they're, this is a tremendous buying opportunity. And you know what? they need to capitalize on this now, because things are just going to get worse as there's more and more competition. I mean, as rates drop, there's more and more people. We're going to be back to the craziness. So it was funny as I just saw an article somebody sent over today about the housing prices that I think, it was Justin sent it out this morning. And I thought it was interesting. It showed like even that the market had gone negative. I don't even think we went negative here in Florida at all. And, we're coming out the backside of this thing. And so I think rates are, definitely going to be dropping. I think though the Fed's overshot their mark, and, people are it's going to get more and more active. And the whole thing about, what they were just talking about, how, the largest slug of people turning 35, when home ownership goes from 40% to 60%, that moving forward is just, the big overall demographic. I mean, supply and demand, there's nothing more to be said, right? I don't care what interest rates are. If there's just not enough supply, people are still buying houses. So,
That's awesome.
I think
that's
it's going to
great
be
advice.
exciting news for the realtors.
That's great advice. That's great advice. You can't be negative. And what I'm gathering from this, as a person who's, I'm your marketing director, I'm seeing a professional that's doing all the legwork for his buyers, for his consumers. I'd say the most important thing out of this is to be careful where you're getting your resources from, especially to the industry. Is that you might be reading something that's specific to the national scale, but it might not be specific to the state of Florida. That's why you work with a professional who's doing all that legwork every single day to protect their consumers and be able to share that awesome information. Who would know, me as an average consumer, that maybe Florida is different than the national, and I'm sitting here, on the sidelines. Now you've shared some awesome information. I feel more comfortable. So that's fantastic. That's good.
Michael, let me, can I just say something on Brad's point real quick? So I had 4 clients make offers this weekend. 4 clients made offers, strong offers, talked to every listing agent. Every single one of the properties had more than 5 offers. It doesn't matter what interest rates are.
Yeah. I had the same thing. I was writing a offer letter yesterday, and there was multiple offers, like 4 or 5 offers on the same thing. And, it's really hard to get a contract accepted. That's, you really just got to have them all the way through the process and be able to just tell the listing agent, look, I'm through underwriting already. So,
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Brad. We appreciate that. So the topic we're doing is how to keep your energy high, especially in the industry. It's keep your team high, keep yourself high, keep your outlook positive. We got Will Caban. Will Caban, can you hear us, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
What's up? Will, give us some knowledge. You look like you're getting some exercise going. You're out there. You're on the streets. You are literally on. Let's hear it from the streets. What are you doing to keep your energy high and keep that positivity going?
Well, so I'm on vacation, right?
he's in a dead zone, I guess.
I think a big part of that, it's a half joke, but it's half truth. And the reason why I say that is because when you go away, there's a few things that you focus on, or you tend to focus on, that you don't necessarily focus on when you're at home. One of which is yourself and your family. And those things you're really dialed in on, especially when you go away as long as I did, which is almost a month, which in essence is really nice because it becomes a vacation that you almost regret taking because you want to be back home. And that's exactly what happened with us. But the truth is that I on the trip, I kind of looked at what is it that I'm not doing for myself, and how do I align that with where I want to change, like bigger goals work-wise, right? And the truth is this, and I can sum it up in one sentence, is if your goals for yourself aren't aligned with what you want as far as growth for your business, you're not going to achieve much, right? If I want to get fit, I want to get in shape, I want to be mentally prepared, and I just want to excel at that. If I'm not taking the necessary steps, working out, waking up early, doing those things that are really important, then how can I expect that my business is going to do the same, right? The truth is that there are a lot of people who are successful who don't do those things. But for me personally, and I think this is what it comes down to personally, that's important. It's always been important. So when I started to look at and reassess, where I was, say, at the beginning of 2020, 2021, and those 2 years, fitness for me and health overall was a really big component of my success. And it wasn't because I wanted to look fit, or it wasn't vanity or anything like that. It was because mentally I was just able to sustain a lot more. Whereas now, I mean, I'm telling you guys, by the end of the day, I'm just mentally exhausted for no reason. And mind you, not even exhausted, but I'm clouded. I don't know, which direction I need to, move something in, or whatever it might be. But for me personally, that's just something that I needed to kind of realign with. And when I came back from vacation, it was just funny because, Brian was like, "Hey, I want to start 75 hard." I was like, "Yeah, let's do it," And we've been kind of like on this, it's been a couple of days, but we've been on this where we're working out in the morning, working out at night, and doing all the other things that the program requires. And dude, I feel great. Yes, it's only a couple of days, but I feel great, So I think a big part of it is just kind of like aligning yourself with what was important in those prior years, right? Because we were stressed out in 2020 and 2021 for different reasons. We were stressed out because we had too much business. We were stressed out because we had just things, falling through the doors that we couldn't even like control. Now we're stressed out because we don't have enough business, and the business that we do have is exponentially more harder and more difficult. So that's, for me, where I've tried to realign with, if I'm going to be positive, if I'm going to be happy, if I'm going to be in this good state of mind, I need to change my state of mind. And that, in essence, is what's important for me. And that could be different for everybody. And I think it is different for everybody, to be honest.
Dude, that was mic drop. Mic drop. Just take the earbuds out, throw them. That was awesome, man. Super cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Wow. To change my mindset, I need to change my mindset. That's wow. Let's go. Angelo, you're up, buddy. I'm excited to hear some stuff from you, man. You've been on a journey. You've been doing your thing this summer.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Since I went to Vegas to the Ford Academy, it was a blast. Learned a lot. Got involved with the mastermind there, so learning a lot, and I'll try to share as much as I can with you guys also. And then I went on a week vacation with the family, and during the Vegas trip and the week vacation, I was blown up. I was so busy. It was nonstop. Had to jump in on a bunch of stuff, but I come to realize that our realtors want to speak to us. They want to do business with us. They want to talk to us. They don't want to talk to people on our team, or per se a setup person or a processor. When they want answers, they want to talk to us. So service has to be paramount right now, I think, in my business, at least. The way that I communicate with my people, they really want to speak to you. And I talked to a client that I worked with for a long time, and he's like, dude, they just want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to anybody else. So you really have to be there for your people and answer the calls on the weekends, at nights, and really dig in the hard stuff. And people are asking some crazy questions. Files are very difficult right now, like everybody's talking about. So you really have to work really hard to make sure that you're communicating properly to all your people. And, and also, like what Brian said, ducktailing off what he said, just reaching out to as many agents as you can, setting up appointments, and the little wins. Because this business will beat you up. So you have to stay positive, in a positive mindset. So just been working forward. I got beat up really bad, and just getting back up and just trying to get new business in the door. So, not trying to let it get me down at all.
Awesome. We got one more. We got Raquel. And then I want to ask you guys one last question before we get you off. It'll kind of just be a short thing, and hopefully we'll be charged up. We'll give it a shot. Raquel, Angelo, thank you for sharing that. Angelo, you're the man. I really appreciate that. That was good advice. I think everyone looks forward to seeing what you've been doing this summer. Raquel, what's going on? How you doing? You are a high energy person. How do you keep your energy high in this industry?
It's definitely mindset and starting the morning with, I don't know, I do meditation, I do yoga, and I try to be doing something active in the morning before I go to the emails and to the computer and to things like that. It's been for me a very challenging year this year, like everybody else. One thing that I realized is that my referrals I've received, but my conversion sucks. I don't know if you guys have the same thing, that your conversions from referrals to actually pre-approvals to actually going to applications sucks big time. And I'm trying to find some more ways to collaborate, to go back into the networking, to go back to connect with the realtors. And they want to hear. And I'm going to be starting a mastermind for how to use AI and ChatGPT for realtors, because they keep on asking me questions about it. And this weekend I took some time and learned a little bit more from the class from Haley in Arizona. And there are some things that we can do and help our referral partners with, so we both can win. Because if we win alone, it's not as sexy. If we win together, it's better.
Oh, that's exciting. You're learning new things, is what I'm hearing. But I think the question that might be a good question for maybe Brian Kutu. Have you had experiences like that in your career yet? How would you formulate that question, Raquel? Would it be is it relationship? Is it more hand holding that needs to be done there? What do you think is happening from a short perspective that might be, I guess, maybe clogging that experience or halting that experience? How would you formulate that question to Brian, given his experience?
Formulating the question about how to approach people?
I think it was a fall off on or the follow through of approvals. Is that what it was? You're trying to get
The conversions.
a fall off of
Oh, the
conversions.
conversions. Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced that in your career, Brian? And how would you work through that? Is it more hand holding?
No, it's not I think what Raquel's saying is it's not a conversion perspective, like of, the fact that she can't convert people to apply with her or convert when she does get a contract to get them to proceed with her. I think the problem is that we've seen interest rates and values rise so much where it's making monthly payments that much higher where people can't afford the properties. And I think that's something that is going on industry wide, especially here in South Florida, with our values going up much more than everyone, especially with our insurance rates going up and taxes going up because properties have been changing hands so much down here. So I think it's something that all of us are struggling with, Raquel. All I can say is you need to talk to more people and get more leads, because the conversion is going to be down because of affordability, right? You need more referrals, more leads, and it's a numbers game. You got to figure out how many people do you need to put in your database every single month or week or whatever the case for you to hit your goals, right? So I track the last 10 days of people inputted into Jungo, right? That's something that I personally track. And if I hover personally around 30 to 35 people input into Jungo right now, whether it's lead, new realtors, whatever the case may be, then I'm probably going to hit my credit pool goals, which means hopefully I'm going to hit my contract goals. So just more conversations, more referrals.
Definitely more communication, more conversations. And again, I realized, I don't know why I have this love-hate relationship with making phone calls, even though all day long we're on the phone. But once I get going, I roll. And I found out it doesn't need to be just a phone call. It could be a post. It could be a message on social. It could be a remark on something that they wrote or did. It could be a quick video email with text, not email, which I found out most of the time getting me further, faster than just, okay, I called, I didn't leave a message, okay, it went away.
Very nice.
Well, I think something that I think all of us struggle with is forgiving us, being more forgiving in the realm of like taking business personal, right? Because like I saw a post the other day and it basically alluded, it was a whole long-winded post, but the end of it was really important. And it said, if you're going to go and shop me When I am writing these emails and these pre-approval letters for you on the evenings, on weekends, and spending and taking time away from my family, and you go to somebody for a slightly lower interest rate or slightly lower fees, don't tell me that it's just business, because it's not, right? So it's really difficult for us, especially me, to kind of compute that and separate myself from that and say, oh, yeah, it's just business, right? Because it's not. It's personal for me, because it's how I put food on the table for my family. This is how I provide for my family. This is how I provide for my partners, and this is how I excel and do whatever it is that I do. And every loss hurts 10 times more than the wins feel good, right? So right now it's just harder. It's just harder, and the communication, like you said, could be in the form of, and this is why I love Zinix for this. It could be in the form of a text message. It could be a voicemail. It could be a follow up to a post. It could be a comment. It could be something. I think the key frame of what you're talking about, Raquel, is communication, right? It's like the communication can spark more communication that can just kind of snowball into bigger things that ultimately become something that you are no longer, apprehensive about or shy about or just fighting against, right? Because you now have something that kind of like it's like a firecracker essentially. You're lighting the fuse, and as soon as that fuse blows up, now it's a snowball effect of other things. And I struggle with the same thing, and I empathize with you in that, and that's why I say that, because of the fact that I know exactly what you're saying, and in the way that you're saying it.
Awesome stuff. This is the team. This is what we got going on. It's August 14th, Monday. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. We are charged up. We are ready to rock. As the marketing director, I would maybe leave the thought with you guys. Let's pull our strengths together. Maybe we could schedule a time or put an hour on where I'll set up the big microphones, or I'll set up the camera. Let's educate consumers, because I'm going through the same experience right now. And there's a lot of things that I did not know about two types of insurance, right? Your mortgage insurance, your property insurance, having potentially HOAs, all these different things. So I didn't really understand the cost of home ownership myself. So if you're a marketing director I'd like to turn the camera on to you guys and give you an opportunity to take the stage there. So I think what we want to do from here is continue to give you guys a platform just like this, so that we can share with consumers, thin the veil, know, like, trust. That's what we want to do, is create that consumer experience for people. I'll leave you. We got 4 minutes left. You guys have shared a ton. That's why I wanted to wrap it up here. I'll leave you with the final thing here. It's Monday morning. We are rocking. It's 10:30 in the morning. What's the number one way that you reach out to people and you found success here in this immediate last week, 2 weeks? What's the number one way that you've reached out to realtors or found success? Each of us will go down the list. We'll start with Kutu. What's the number one way?
Pick up your phone.
Phone. Wayne?
Same thing, call. Dial.
Angelo?
Call, email, text, social, talk about hometown heroes.
All of it. Smoke
That's
signals.
6
Brad?
ways.
Yeah.
Cell
One thing
phone.
I want to share with you that was on the Fairway Ignite group on Facebook. Brian Cantrell wrote it. He says, have you heard about glimmers? They are the opposite of triggers. A glimmer is a tiny micro moment of happiness and a sign of hope. Once you begin to look for them, they will start appear everywhere. Those triggers that we all are being triggered by, like an automatic response, we need to shift them to this glimmers. I like that a lot.
I like it. Will, how are you glimmering with real estate professionals right now?
So it felt, here's a simple fact. If something is interesting to me, I have a feeling that it's going to be interesting to somebody else. So I'm trying to find interesting things, share them with the people that I think would care about that, i.e. my real estate partners and the likes, even clients, and ultimately just kind of differentiate myself that way, so that I can kind of bring some value, but also bring something that's an interesting twist to the conversation. So that's my glimmer. That's what I'm doing. And I hope that helps.
Awesome. Everyone feel good? Everyone charged up?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Please
Go
email me
do
if you
it.
have any questions. If you need anything, I'm here for you. Let's keep this going. If you enjoyed it, tell a team member, bring them in next week. Let's go. I'll see you guys throughout the week.
It was